Now, we sort of have a theme song here. Well, actually, it's a song I wrote maybe 11, 12 years ago. As a matter of fact, when I first walked into a Center for Spiritual Living, back then it was called the Church of Religious Science, I wrote this song about a week after I discovered this teaching. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm just going to sing it for you, and you'll figure it out, I'm sure. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone, and someone cares for you as an individualization of divine point of view. This door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. This door is open to you. This door is open to you. And inside, you will find love, and you will find community, you will find compassion, and you'll find joy, and most of all, peace. Amen. This is a song we like to do every week. It's called We Come Together in the Name of Love. How appropriate, huh? Now, if you're able and if you feel like it, I want to ask you to stand right now and clap your hands like this. There you go. Oh, that feels good. Here we go. Now, this is what I want you to do. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Go ahead. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Woo! Now, it even sounds better than last week. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Say it. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, yeah. In honor of the God in each other. Ooh, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the wail on me, don't bail on me. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Woo! Thank you. And now, my brothers and sisters, I would like to welcome the Reverend Dr. Ken Wilcox.
Good morning, everyone. Just like Eddie said, we come together in the name of love. And what are we coming together for? To know something good and powerful, dynamic, bold, and exciting for ourselves. That right where we are flows all the power and goodness and joy and love of the Creator. Right where we are flows all the potential for a greater, more loving and healthful and joyful life. So where we are is powerful, where we are is important, and right where we are, here today, a healing is coming, a blessing is coming. You're going to leave this place in some significant way, healed, blessed, and prospered for your time here. Now, you know, each Sunday morning, I always ask you to do one simple thing for me, and that's to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, to leave all that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more happiness, more of everything that makes us feel alive. Because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. And you're going to leave here in some significant way, empowered, encouraged. You're going to leave here knowing Spirit is with you every the step of the way, calling you on to a greater and a more joyful knowing for yourself. All right, Eddie, that's all I can do to get him out of the seat. Let's see if you can do any better.
I think we can liven them up because I am alive with the Spirit of God. How about y'all? That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of Woo! I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God.
This is one of the flyers for the school stuff. It's hot out here. Leave these open.
It's cultural. I'm sorry. 1, 2. Are you feeling me?
All right.
There we go. Now that feels better. I am alive with the Spirit of God. There we go. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit. Woo! I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. I'm alive. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God.
Thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr. Thank you, everyone. So we're alive with the Spirit of God. Now, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with this high vibration? So I have a project that I'd like to share with you. It's our back to school supplies. You know, we partnership with a elementary school here in town that is home to kids that are really kind of just on the economic edge. And getting school supplies can be very difficult for their parents. So each year we do a drive. The supplies are listed outside. All kinds of things you can get, backpacks and crayons and pencils, all the other stuff. But here's the other thing that I'd like to ask you to do. You have till the 15th to bring them back in. But this is what I want you to do. You buy these supplies, and then you put them in a prominent area of your house. In our house, it would be the dining room table. And you put them there, and during the week, when you go by and you see them, you do prayer work for those supplies. You do prayer work, seeing those supplies going to a kid who's going to use those supplies as inspiration. Diana tells me that for these kids, these are often the only new things they get all year long. So you see this kid getting this new bottle of glue, this new scissor. You see them going out in the world and knowing that they can make a difference in the world. Do prayer work for the families. You see the families knowing they can get help, that they're not alone in the world, that they're not having to struggle on their own. Do prayer work for the teachers. See the teachers seeing these kids who don't get a lot, getting these supplies and saying, there is help in the world. You do prayer work for the supplies, then bring them up. I want to see the stage loaded up with gifts, with school bags that we can hand out. And then as we load the stage up, we're going to continue doing prayer work for the supplies. And they will go out and it will be a tsunami of blessings. And we don't know the great good one little thing of glue can do. You don't know the great good one scissor can do. It may be giving the impetus that child can go on and be a doctor, a judge. They may go on and be president of the United States. We don't know the blessings we're unleashing, but we know blessings will return to us. So it's a good and powerful thing to do. The lists are on the reception table outside, so pick one up. You have till the 15th to bring them back in. Today also, we've got a special day because we are giving out a scholarship for the Dolores Ellison Scholarship Program. This is part of the Venus Manley Scholarship Program, where we give out scholarships to kids who have special challenges. I like to call them kids with special courage. I wanted to speak a minute or two about Dolores Ellison. She was a lovely friend of mine. She passed right after the holidays with COVID. She had served here for many, many years. She was a brilliant woman. She loved children. There was not a dog or a child that did not draw to her like boats go to the lighthouse. She attracted all of them. She lived an amazing life of courage, of inspiration. She came from a family that had not been doing so well in the 50s. And when she graduated from high school, her mom told her, said, well, there's just no money to send you to college. you can't go to college. And she went and told a guidance counselor at school, and the guidance counselor told her, she said, you're too gifted not to go to college. You've got to go to college. And so the guidance counselor found out where there was a contest in Florida, where if you entered this contest and agreed to become a teacher, that they would pay for your college, but only the top 5% of people would win the scholarship. Dolores entered the program, and she won the scholarship. She went on and she had an amazing career. She was helped develop a Stanton Academy up in Jacksonville, and she was the mentor up there. Kids that she helped mentored are all over the world doing amazing and wonderful things. So when she made her transition, we dedicated the scholarship in her honor. And today, Dr. Manley is going to come up and tell us who our first recipient of this scholarship is. Come on up, Dr. Manley.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So this is a lovely day. We are giving a gift for one of our applicants for the Venus Manley Scholarship. She did not win the scholarship. We gave those away a couple of weeks ago, but we had two people who were just so amazing. And it's always heartwarming when we interview these young people. They are just so amazing. We can't just let them walk away with nothing. So Dolores's gift is a wonderful addition to our scholarship program. And we have today with us Courtney Hawkins, who is a graduate from the Florida School of the Deaf and Blind. And Courtney is here today to receive her gift and the other, not just a cash gift, but the other little goodies we have as well. And we just want to give her a moment to come forward and say hello to us. Okay. This is Courtney. And Courtney, I'm going to give you this gift, but after I allow you to say a couple of words to us, okay? Would you like to hold the microphone?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Courtney, and it's a very new experience to be here, and I'm so grateful. I'm excited to go off to college and just start some new adventures. I'm going to study counseling, and I'm hoping to work with the geriatric population and just help them to feel less lonely in their transition. So I'm just so grateful for this. Thank you.
Courtney, I'm going to ask you to step up one step. He wants us to move back.
Thank you. No, she doesn't have to step
No,
up.
David wants you to come up.
Okay. So this is a certificate that we're going to give you with a photo of Dolores Ellison. I'm going to put it right here for you. And basically it tells Dolores' story and why she wanted to give to this scholarship program. And also, you're going to go to Trinity College, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to take a photo real quickly. And okay, thank you. Okay, here you go. Thank you so much, Courtney. Here you go. Let me take Reverend Ken this. So I can give you this bag.
Thank you. Thank you, Courtney. What a wonderful blessing. And Courtney, when students come, and I always remind the people here that of aunt of mine, that when I was going through college and we would get together for family reunions, she would sneak in and slip me a 5 or 10 on the slide. So I'd like Courtney to leave here with a little extra money too. You know, going off to college is an expensive thing. So if you can slip her a little money, and as I say, I'm going to be like Reverend Ike. We want quiet folding money. We don't want any jingling jangling money. It's not coming Christmas time. No sleigh bells ringing time. We want Courtney going out of here knowing that there's a group of people that see the best of her, that know the best of her. We know that she's going to go off and she's going to do wonderful, amazing things. It so warmed my heart seeing this young woman up here saying, I want to help geriatrics. When I was her age, I probably didn't know what geriatrics were. I certainly couldn't have spelled it. And here she is, wanting to help them. So we want to empower her and send her off knowing you're doing great things. And there's a group of people who believe in you, who know the best for you. And to give her that encouragement so she can go and make a big, huge difference in the world, which we know she's going to. All right, so now let's get going with all this wonderful good feeling, this high vibration. And I can't think of a better way to do it than with an affirmative prayer. And Jim Saul's going to come up and do one for us. Come on up, Jim.
Good morning, everybody. I'm a little bit sad this morning. I lost a good friend yesterday. It's a book. I finished it. And that's how I can tell a really good book is when I'm done with it, I feel like, oh, I've lost a friend, you know. The book is by Natalie Goldberg. She's a Zen teacher and she teaches writing. And the book that I am taking this from is Long Quiet Highway, which is kind of her description of the spiritual path. And I love her books because she uses writing as part of her spiritual practice. And she has for years and years and years and found, if you will, enlightenment in writing. So this is just one little tidbit that she wrote that I picked up this morning and decided to read. Minds, my mind and yours are run by the same principle. We are not unique. We mirror what is around us. If we walk into a red room, we become red. If we are always in a group of angry people, it is very hard not to become angry. If we are with someone who is clear of mind and heart, our minds reflect that back and we become clear of mind and heart. So let's take that thought and go into an affirmative prayer. And what I know this morning is that there is one divine intelligence, and it's right here with us. Open hearts and open minds and good intentions, and choose to love instead of hate. So I give thanks for this lovely center, for it has for so long been my guiding light and helped me to let go of my frustrations, my angers, and find a loving entity within me that I like to think of as spirit. I give thanks for the wisdom that has been spoken through all the years from this podium. And I give thanks for the wisdom that Ken will share with us this morning. And what I just want to embrace totally is this idea that teachers are everywhere. Some teachers teach us from a place of great love or compassion, but others might teach us from a place of anger, fear, or frustration, but we can learn from both of them. So think of everyone that you encounter as your teacher. I give thanks for everything. I give thanks for this center, and I can release this prayer to become so simply and easily by saying, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Eddie, bless us with some music.
Love has come. Love has come. Love has come into this place. I invite you to sing along with me. Those are the only words. Love has come into this place. Love has come. Love has come. Love has come. Love has come into this place. And now love has come into my heart. Love has come. Love has come. Love has come into my heart. Into my heart. Into my heart. Into my heart. Now, this is a song that we're going to be singing every single week when we have these special moments where we center and we come together in the name of love. And now I'd like to do a song. Look around and everything you see is merely an outpicturing of what's going on inside your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Did you guys hear me? Look around and everything you see is merely an outpicturing of what's going on inside your consciousness. And if you don't change your mind, and you'll throw out the rest. Easy is the other side of tough, and smooth is the other side of rough, and down is just the other side of up. Well, it's all the same stuff. Since God is all there is to see, what else could anything else be? It's all the same stuff. Free to rearrange it any way you want. No, I'm not trying to get complicated, scientific or psychological. I'm just stating the plain and simple case. Whatever we think most about seems to always come about and end up staring us right in the face. No, easy's the other side of tough, and smooth is the other side of rough, and down is just the other side of up. Well, it's all the same stuff. Since God is all there is to see, what else could anything else be? It's all the same stuff. You're free to rearrange it any way you want. It's all the same stuff. Since God is all there is to see, what else could anything else be? It's all the same stuff. You're free to rearrange it any way you want. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. My talk title this morning is Listening to Spirit. Listening to Spirit. It's what we've come to do. It's what we're in the physical to do, to birth a spiritual idea into the material world. That's what you are here to do. To know that we have a partner for good, supporting the best ideas for ourselves, allowing ourselves to become a channel of Spirit's ideas for a life of love, of joy, by means of us and through us, that we made it possible. Yes, thank you. Already the amen in the crowd. And it doesn't require that we become all holy or saintly. It doesn't require that we become anything perfect. We can do it right where we are. But it requires to us to raise our vibration to a level of love and joy. If we're fearful, if we're angry, if we're resentful, how can we connect with a vibration or source of love? How would that work? And even if we were to connect with that source of love, even if it spoke loving words to us, we would still interpret it as harsh rebukes. We wouldn't be able to understand it. Now, I've got lovely cousins, and every once in a while, they will send me YouTube videos of these people running around proclaiming to be prophets. And they wonder why I don't go to family reunions, and it's a very interesting phenomenon that's happening right now on a social level. The evangelical community is, like all denominations in spirituality right now, is losing memberships. But there are these people who are online who are proclaiming to be prophets, and their followers are soaring. They're getting a lot of big following. And a lot of what they're talking about is political. Strange to think the Spirit would want to intervene in our politics, an area where I don't know how much good you can do in the world. Now, I don't know from prophets. I don't really know that much about them, but I do think if you're around somebody who self-declares that they're a prophet, it might be a good time to watch your wallet. And I take the advice from a character in one of my favorite plays. I'm sure many of you haven't heard of it. It's called Greater Tuna, and it's about Tuna, Texas. And one of the characters in there, she becomes kind of infamous when she snatches a toupee off of a traveling tent revival preacher. And she said, well, he claimed to heal the lame. He couldn't even grow a head of hair. So I'm like Ashley Wilkes and Gone with the Wind. Scarlett was telling him that she was going to open up a business, and he told her, he says, you ought to name it butchering this. In Latin, buyer beware. That's what he told her he should name it. So buyer beware. Now, here is a big rule for you. If out of the mouth of somebody who's saying they're a prophet, or really anybody else, comes something that's not loving and supportive, it's not of God. It's of human ego. It's not of Spirit. If it's a message that makes you fearful, distrustful, or confused, it's not of Spirit. God is not an author of confusion. God is not an author of confusion. If it empowers you, it encourages you, then it's the voice of the universe, and say yes to it and go with it. But you've got to make that decision for yourself. You're the one who has to make that decision. Spirit will never give us less power. It's always wanting to give us more authority over our lives, because that's ultimately what we're here to do, is to take authority over our lives. Now, as many of you know, I'm going through the textbook chapter by chapter this year. I'm on chapter 20, and this chapter is what the mystics have taught, Dr. Ernest Holmes. And in this chapter, he points out that in history, we have people who have come along and were able to proclaim a truth greater than what was available for them to know. In other words, they tapped into universal mind, and that spirit alone had been their teacher. They tapped into universal intelligence. So Jesus, Buddha, Dr. Holmes, Gandhi, Dr. King, they all drew from this cosmic consciousness. And I think it's interesting. One of the things that I find interesting in history is there are people who try to say that Jesus might have met or was influenced by the Buddhist teachings, and maybe he traveled to India. And perhaps he did. But I think it's also easy to understand he was operating at a level of intelligence, the same as Buddha was doing. And so he was bringing down the same similar ideas. It's a historical fact, and I find this fascinating, that often scientific breakthroughs or inventions will happen in different places around the world, but often very close to the same time. The same breakthroughs happening. It's people operating at that same vibrational level. Now, here's a wonderful idea of our teaching, and that is that what anyone has done, we can do. If anybody has done it, you can do. Even us, particularly us. All of us, because after all the great teachers, Moses, Jesus, they all were reluctant to step into their power. They all had to be encouraged to step into their powers. So if they did it, we can do it, because Spirit might have a better idea for you this morning. And perhaps it's you who are waiting to step up and bring a huge blessing to life by means of you, through you. Dr. Holmes says the mystics are always the artist around us, and he pointed to poets. I like to think of Dr. Holmes primarily as a poet. I think that's really what he was best at. A good friend of mine, he said, all of spirituality first shows up in the world as poetry, and then the bureaucrats get a hold of it and turn it into a religion. Dr. Holmes says all philosophers were mystics, all great music, all great artists, all of those have come from people who have made a connection with Spirit. Years ago, I went to a Dolly Parton concert. About this time of the year, it was so hot in Atlanta. And she got up and sang and entertained for 2.5 hours. And only her. And the thing that I loved about her is she would take her songs, many of them that were love songs, and tweak them just a little bit. And there was always a spiritual element to them. I thought that was really wonderful. Dr. Holmes says that the mystics reveal things so that we can understand that we are not just ships passing in the night. In other words, mystics reveal an intelligence behind our lives, that there are things in our life that just can't simply be understood on the face of it. There's an intelligence behind things. I love reading history, and Winston Churchill is one of my favorite characters. And there's a true story about him that when he was probably in middle school, what we would call equivalent of middle school, he had a dream that disturbed him greatly. He wrote about it, he told friends about it, and he shared it with the adults in his life at the time. So people remembered this dream. And what this dream was that he was going to be an adult. He would be the leader of Great Britain. He would be in London, and bombs were being rained down upon London. He had this dream probably before the turn of the century. And yet in the 40s, he was to live through that experience. Even though at the time he had the dream, that idea of bombs coming to a city was probably just in, fiction. No one really thought of it as a serious idea, but he had that foretelling of it. He had tapped into a universal intelligence. Most of our knowing comes from a direct download of God in our lives. And we must learn what we learn of God, we must learn through ourselves. if we are constantly reminding ourselves how miserable life can be, then how can we learn of that which is all loving? There is a way for us to know about spirit, the goodness of it. And when we do, when we have that spirit experience, when we know we're a part of something wonderful and joyful and loving, it gives us a calm, it gives us a peace, it gets us to a place that we no longer have to argue with people about religion. You know, when I was in my early adulthood, I was what I self-identify as a loudmouth atheist. And I loved nothing more than to get in arguments with people about religion. But as I've come into this teaching, I've given that up. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm happy to listen to your ideas about spirituality. And if it works for you, then what business of it is mine? If it's working for you, then God love you. Go on about your way. Now, if you have questions, I'll answer your questions, but I don't have any need to defend or to argue. I told this story a couple of years ago, and I'll share it again. It happened about this time of year, really hot time in St. Augustine. It was Monday, my day off. I was tooling around the house. There was a knock at the door, and I looked out, and there were two elderly ladies and a little 9-year-old girl. And I know this is not true. I know this is a trick of my imagination, but I swear they looked like the workers off of Downton Abbey. They looked like they were dressed in long wool outfits, wool hats on. They looked like they were melting in the July heat and humidity. Well, I treat the heat and humidity like people in the Antarctic treat the cold. And I opened the door up and I just kind of ordered them in from the heat. Let's get in here. And I gave them some water because I knew the other stuff I had on hand, they probably wouldn't want to drink. So they're sitting there, they're cooling off, they have the water. And of course, they want to start talking to me. And I shared with them, no, I'm happy with what I believe. That's okay. Then they tried to sell me magazines. And no, I don't read the magazines I get. That's okay. So finally, the grandmother thought she had to have another throw at it. And she said, well, can we do a prayer for you? I was sure. I'm happy to have a prayer. And I listed a couple of things that I wanted the prayer for. Don't think she was expecting that. And then I said, I'll hear your prayer, but I want to do a prayer for you too. That she wasn't expecting. So she did her prayer, and then I did my prayer. And what was my prayer? That there's shade that they can walk in. That there's people that they get to who are friendly and nice to them. And then when it gets too hot, they have the intelligence to know to go home. So I finished up my prayer. They took the bottles of waters. I haven't seen them again. They haven't come back. But it's okay. I was happy to have their prayer. I hope they were happy to have mine. Spirit is forever revealing its truth to us when we will lift our eyes to a better knowing, a better inspiration. And what are better inspirations? To bring more love, to bring more joy, to bring more goodness to the world by means of us. And that's what we're doing. You know, this past week, I had an inspiration because I was talking to my friend who helps us with the school program. And so my inspiration was that I know that these kids who are going to these schools have trouble getting clothes. She tells me that often they don't really have anything new all year long. And I know how school clothes can be a real heavy expense for these families. So my thought was that we would, as we do at Christmas time, we would get names and sizes and stuff, and we would buy the kids school clothes. I thought it was a really great idea. But I was talking to my contact, and she reminded me. She said, well, you know, it is a good idea. She said, but we don't know the kids that are coming back. It's not a regular school. Because our families are living so on the edge. We don't know who will be back this school year, who we will get new, who's in trouble, and who needs help. So it's a good idea, but maybe it's something that we have to do later. But here's the thing. that wasn't an idea that worked. But if as long as I don't identify myself with that idea, say, okay, this is just a process where we're going to move on to something better, then something better will come. Something good will come. It reminded me of a friend. I thought about him this week, a friend of mine. When I first met him over 30 years ago, he was living in Atlanta. But he desperately wanted to get back to Natchez, Mississippi. That was his hometown. All his family was in Natchez. And at the time he had an idea, he would sell personalized bricks. His family ran one of the big historic homes there in Natchez. And he would sell these personalized bricks to make a garden path for the gardens there. And he thought this would be a big seller to the tourists that came through. Well, guess what? Nobody bought a brick. Nobody bought bricks. But about 6 months later, that idea led him to another idea. And that idea was he would create these individual kits to make garden stones. You'd have a little bag of cement, a little form, a little stencil. You could make designs in the stone. That idea sold like hotcakes. They couldn't keep them on the shelf. He made tons of money. But he first had to have the idea of the brick. If we don't identify with a bad idea, if we don't say, oh, that's me again going down the wrong road, if we see it not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone, Spirit will get us to a greater place, a better knowing. Dr. Holmes says we're daily guided by divine intelligence into paths of peace and health and prosperity, where the soul recognizes its source and meets in joyful union in complete at-one-ment. At-one-ment. The unity of good is a revelation of the greatest importance, for it teaches us that we are one with Spirit, the parenthood of Spirit, the actual sisterhood and brotherhood of humanity, and it will be made apparent on earth to the degree that we realize it for ourselves. We've been waiting on God. God's waiting on us to know something better. And it happens through the little nooks and crannies and weirdness of our personalities. See, we think we've got to give those up. We don't need to give them up. Spirit can use those things to reveal a greater knowing. Spirit will use all your little weirdness of your personality to bring the fullness of itself to life. And that's what we're doing. We're all on the pathway of experiencing self-discovery, and we're all going to get there. Dr. Holmes says, no, not one of us will be missing. Through our best ideas, that's how we're going to get there. The most loving and kind ones. You know, as I said last week, when you have a really loving and kind idea, say namaste to it. The God in me recognizes the God in you. And if there's God in both of us, then something good has got to happen. Something joyful has got to happen. Evolution, Dr. Holmes says, is the awakening of the soul to recognizing the unity within. Spirit itself is using us, calling us forth to know something better. What was that song in The Color Purple? Maybe God is trying to tell you something. Well, maybe Spirit is trying to tell you something this morning, that we don't have to live downcast, that we don't have to live disturbed, that we don't have to be worried by the worries of the world, that we've come to life to declare and to decree something good and powerful for ourselves and each other. Through us flows all the creative energy of the universe. Here, now, we have something wonderful and powerful to know and to do, that we are the very glory of God made manifest. Through our hearts, our minds, and our souls, we're bringing about a more compassionate world, a more loving one, a more kind one. It's within every one of us, and now's the time to bring about a bright, shining morning star of love that you have come to be. God knows the truth in you. I know the truth in you. Stand up this morning and be that truth. Go out of here not afraid. Go out of here go out of here inspired. Go out of here encouraged, knowing that you've got the power and goodness and glory of God with you to make manifest in your life. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. And I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Oh, things that I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Oh, I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the past that led me to such sadness. Today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day I walk away. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. That was beautiful. So now we come to the time where we support ourselves, and we support ourselves in consciousness and coin. Consciousness is in prayer, knowing something better for this self, seeing this place growing and thriving, seeing this place becoming a lighthouse, a beacon of love and hope and inspiration, not just for this community, but for this nation and the world. Seeing us being able to do more good for kids in the world, seeing us be able to give more scholarships out to help kids with this courage who are going out in spite of challenges and saying, I'm going to make a difference in the world. So I say, if you're doing in consciousness, just put your hand over your heart. If you're having making a donation, just put your donation in with your hand over your heart. And I'll read this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join into the divine flow. And all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Sing along with me, y'all. You know the words? I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Okay, yeah. That's it. Are you ready? I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, Eddie. So I'm going to to end our service, I'm going to do a closing prayer, affirmative prayer. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me today. There is but one God and one mind and one power. And that power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. And that power is showing up in the world through me, for me, and as me. So this day, this holy day, I am choosing to walk away from every thought I had who's ever held me back. Every thought of lack of limitation, of woundedness, not good enough, not for me, day late and dollar short. Those are false ideas. I've played with them long enough, and I'm turning loose of them. They flee this right knowing like the shadows fled the morning sun. God has called me by name that I would walk the soil of St. Augustine, to know something good and powerful for myself, that I am not alone on this journey, that I have a friend with me, a partner, encouraging me, calling me on, that I might know the best of myself, that I might experience wonderful health and love, overflowing bank account, friends and great family, that I can have all the good of life. There's nothing too hard for God, and there's nothing too good for me. So this morning, I'm leaving behind all the shackles of fear and doubt and lack and limitation. This morning, I'm lifting my eyes to a better knowing. This morning, I'm leaving this place in some significant way, healed, blessed, and prospered. Spirit is lighting a lamp before my feet, and I am knowing who I am and whose I am. I have come to life to experience all the goodness and love and joy that God had in mind when it called me by name from stardust. And who am I to tell God I'm not worthy of a miracle? This is my truth this morning. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing. And I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, And so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought, one final thing to think about this week. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God has called us to be. This is Reverend Ken with Eddie Watkins Jr. Many blessings. Until we see you next week, God bless us all.
Here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our families in perfect harmony. I'd like to ask you to stand if you're able. You don't have to hold hands, but just reach out. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Namaste. God bless you. Okay. Mm-hmm.